Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. How are we all doing this evening? If you can hear me loud and clear, just type 1 in the chat room. If you can hear me loud and clear, just type 1 in the chat room. Molizi, you welcome. Okay, awesome, awesome. Thank you for that feedback. And I want to especially welcome every one of us to the real estate conversation tonight. Olanreju Ajuni Yunusa, you're also welcome. Let me get one or two more confirmation that you can all hear me so that we'll be on the same page, okay? Can you all hear me? Just type 1. Umbarak, you're also welcome. Rose Okore, you're welcome. Oluwatobi Adeoye, you're welcome. Billy, you're welcome. Julie Alakija, you're also welcome. So if you can hear me loud and clear, just type 1 in the chat room. Abudullah Ibrahim, you're also welcome. Olamide Monitoyi, you're welcome. Francisca Udo, you are welcome. Welcome, 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 everyone. Okay, so real estate conversation every Friday. That's where we meet here. And this is a platform that we have put together at Lifepage, okay, to educate, because we have a strong belief that when people know better, their heart are better, okay? So we believe that when people know better, their heart better. Before you part with your hard-earned fund, it will it will be good that you have a knowledge, at least, I mean, and you hear from the people that are going to be managing your money. Okay, so you're all welcome. Welcome, VOA, you're welcome. Dami, you're welcome. Uluka Ode Joseph, you're welcome. Everybody, you're welcome. So let's do this in the next few seconds. I just want you to go to the chat room. Let's tell me where you are joining us from tonight. Okay, I'm joining from Lagos. I'm joining from Calabar. I'm joining from Cameroon. I'm joining from UK. Oh, Molizi from UK, you're welcome. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I need more response. I need more response. Let me know where you are joining us from tonight. Okay? Just tell us where you are joining us from tonight. Very important. We need to know where you are joining us from tonight. Okay, Abidjan. Oh, how is Abidjan tonight? Apollo Ambrose from Abidjan. Julie, you from UK. Olarewaju Moses Abubakar from Itori, Ogun State. Awesome. Francisca also from UK. Abudulai from Nigeria. Okay, Faith Adebayo also from UK. Carol is from Georgia, USA. Afolabi from Lagos. Okay, you're all welcome. So basically, let me set the ground rule. So I'm going to do some couple of presentations for the next few minutes. Then afterwards, our CEO will come up also to do presentation. But my presentation tonight, I'll try to make it as short as possible so that we can answer a lot of questions. So because we've gotten feedback from some of the people that invited me that most of the questions of their prospects are not always answered, because we want this meeting to just be between 7 and 8 p.m. So we are going to dedicate a lot of time to answer questions. And one of the things we are also going to be doing is that one of these editions of our real estate conversation, we're going to focus on the Q&A of what the product is all about. Rose also, Corey also from United Kingdom, you're welcome. I think United Kingdom is leading Nigeria now. Okay, we celebrate all our diasporan customers and prospects. We celebrate you greatly. Okay, so okay, so I'll increase my pitch. I'll increase the volume. So you're all welcome. So for us to be able to take your questions. So what we are going to be doing is that you type your question at the chat room. So anywhere, at any point in time during my presentation, during any presentation, you need to just type your question. Julie Alakija, you know the funniest thing, before we enter this call, I was actually having a conversation about with one of our customers who also in the UK. Don't worry. Between June and July, we'll be in the UK. I personally will be in the UK between June and July. Don't worry. We're having a real estate masterclass tour starting from March. So we are coming to the UK. I hope you are all ready. So we are bringing the gospel of beyond land and housing, everything. We are bringing it to the United Kingdom. Palm plantation. Don't worry, we are coming. Someone has indicated interest to host us in Manchester. So we are waiting for who is going to be hosting us in Leeds, in London, everywhere. Don't worry, we are coming. Okay, so for my presentation, we'll give you the specific dates between June and July, right? It will be in the UK, June or July. We'll let you know the specific dates. Okay, so waiting eagerly, no problem. Oh, you are in Leeds. Wow, awesome. We'll give you more details shortly. So for my presentation tonight, I want to just I won't be sharing my screen. I'll just be sharing some statistics and facts about palm oil. Let Palmville. It's okay. For Palmville, Palmville is an interesting agro real estate project, and it's not just about you owning land. Yesterday night, I was talking to someone, and the person said that, how I wish this product has been, I mean, he has had something like this 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. But no matter when you, when the opportunity showed up, the most important thing is that you are prepared. And that's one thing about this Palmville estate, okay? So Palmville estate is a real estate. You are buying into a real estate. It's not like an investment for cash return, no. Is actually a real estate. You are buying a piece of land. And most of the time, a lot of people don't know real estate, right? What real estate basically means is not just about the land and houses. Real estate means space. So land, everything above land, everything below land. Agriculture is also part of it. Exploration, a whole lot of things is also part of it. And every form of real estate investment we've shared time and time again must be doing two things for you, okay? Number one is that it must be appreciating in value. Every of your real estate investment must be appreciating in value. What that means is that they are basically sending your money on an error, and the money keeps growing while you are sleeping, so it must be doing that for you. Number two is that it's supposed to be giving you cash flow too, but not all forms of real estate gives cash flow. Some are just basically for capital gain. For those that are doing land banking, for instance, is capital gain. But the uniqueness about this Palmville is that it combines both. It combines land banking, which is basically capital gain. You are holding the land for as long as possible. I mean, in as much as the palm is fruiting, okay? Then it also gives you cash flow. And the cash flow in this case starts from the 60. Of course, the more details will be shared about that. But my whole focus in this section is for us to understand that the market is huge. So what you are doing when you buy into Palmville is that you are owning the land, right? And you are also getting agricultural income, because the payment you are making is covers both for the land and covers also for the planting and for the nurturing for the first 5 years, okay? And that's what and the demand is huge. The demand is huge. Just this afternoon, I was watching a documentary that was done by Business Insider UK about palm oil and the demand for it. The demand is enormous, right? And a lot of industries are turning to palm oil because that's the closest oil that is closest to nature, right? Does not have any bleach, does not have any additive. In fact, they are coming to the species of palm oil that was taken from Nigeria. Like we all know, and I've shared severally, that majorly palm oil originated from West Africa and Nigeria, precisely Nigeria. And in the 60s, there's an institute called NIFOR. NIFOR is the Nigerian Institute of Palm Plantation and all of those things. I can't remember precisely what the acronym is for. So they are the institute that research on palm oil, coconut, or everything that has to do with palm. They are the institute that does that research. Okay, so in the 90s, Indonesia came. Today, Malaysia and Indonesia are the top two producer of palm oil. And even though they are producing palm oil, all the palm oil production in the whole world right now is about 70. Okay, yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Shield. National Institute of Oil Palm Research, NIFO. So thank you very much. So 80% of all the world production comes from Indonesia and Malaysia. And before Malaysia came, Nigeria was actually controlling 60%. 60% of the production of palm oil. But Nigeria, we are very funny people. There's a Yoruba saying, basically what we did was that as soon as there's crude oil, right, we just abandon palm oil. And a lot of people don't even know that palm oil per barrel is actually more expensive than crude oil per barrel. But that's not where we are going tonight, okay? So even with the massive expansion and Malaysia and Indonesia dominating the market, they are still not meeting up the current world demand. We are not even talking about Nigerian demand. No, palm oil is a global commodity. It's a global commodity. It's locally demand. The demand currently now is 50% deficit. I'm talking as at 2026. 50% deficit in local demand. That is to say, what we are producing in Nigeria, we import 50% of what we need. We are only producing 50% of the demand. And for us to even meet up with that 50%, we need to explore we need to explore over 500,000 hectares of land for us to even scratch the surface of the remaining 50%. Of the remaining 50%. And you know, one interesting thing that I even discovered is that our local mass real estate, mass plantation estate are not even 100% owned by Nigeria. Most of them are owned by foreign companies. Okumu Oil is owned by a French company. Willy Farm is owned by another, I think Malaysia or something like that. They are the one that owns most of these farms. So it is time for us to invest local to a product that is globally relevant. Inflation is not affecting it. The demand is concurrent with global market, right? The price rather is concurrent with what? The global market and global demand, both locally relevant and globally acceptable. And that is the beauty of it. So the demand is huge, right? Globally alone, there are almost 10 million metric tons. 10 million metric tons of palm oil is needed. And locally too, I'm talking as of today. And in the next 10 years, because of the emergence of biofuel, which is one area that, everybody's talking about global warming and all of those things. Everybody's looking for alternative to fuel. Look at what is happening right now. Nigeria, petrol has been deregulated. So between one week, because Iran, US, and all of them are fighting, price moved from about 800 to almost 1,000 naira per liter for fuel. Okay, because of that is the main source of power, right? Especially in Nigeria, you power your gen, you do all those things. So a lot of people are looking at alternative, and the best of the best is still the byproduct of palm oil that is being used for biofuel. So the demand is enormous. The demand is enormous. Okay, like I said, I promised that my session is going to be short tonight so that we'll give OC time to explain, and also we'll now come back for questions. We want to try as much as possible to answer as many questions as possible tonight. OC, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okpe, and I want to welcome everybody very specially. Thank you so much for that powerful presentation and data that you've reeled out. I want to believe that everybody can hear me loud and clear. If you can hear me loud and clear, please type 10 just to be sure that you all can hear me. Type 10 if you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, I want to believe my voice is loud. Loud enough. Okay, all right, so thank you very much. So let me just share my screen and just give us a little more information about Palmville. Yeah, I'll be sharing screen. Mr. Okpa is not sharing his screen. I want to share my screen. All right, so Palmville, by the way, if you're on this call, it's important for us to establish why you're on this call. You're on this call simply because you are either an existing customer or an existing partner, or any of these two categories of people invited you here. And why is this so important? It's because what we are offering right now is an exclusive private offer, only available to our existing partners and customers, as well as their families and friends. So you're on this call because what is available to them, they want to extend it to you. All right. And, if it is good for me, why shouldn't I tell my families and friends? Right. So that's pretty much the idea behind this. Eventually, when we go public, you will see a lot more noise on that. So, but for now, let me just give you a little rundown. Palmville is an agro real estate wealth ecosystem. So please note this. Can we mute that device, admin, please? The three major things that Mr. Okpe said earlier, he said something very, very powerful. There are three major reasons people buy land. People buy land with the intention to build. People buy land with the intention to keep as a store of value. People buy land with the intention to resell it in the future, either to fund projects, maybe business project, maybe personal project, maybe family project. It can even be children education, college education, right? It could be for many reasons, all right? But what is fundamental here in all of the conversation we are having right now is that if your objective is to buy to build, then Palmville is really not for you. All right. If your intention is to buy land, and the reason I'm sharing this is also because I found out over the years that buying land, right, right, or any form of investment for that matter, should be guided by your objectives, not by the fear of missing out, not by the not by apologies, not by the pressure to impress someone, or you are just responding to emotions or sentiments. It should be guided primarily by your objective. What exactly do you want to achieve? All right. Why are you doing this? And that's why we normally share those three things. Right. So if you're buying with the intention to build, then Palmville is certainly not for you. But if your objective is to buy to keep, all right, or buy to resell later in the future, then this is perfect for you. And the beautiful thing about this objective, this particular opportunity, is the fact that, like Mr. Okbe said, right, it satisfies two things. One, it does not only appreciate in value, it also puts money in your pocket. All right, and then we'll get into that. So, but fundamentally, Palmville is an agro real estate wealth ecosystem where you own the land permanently, and then you have the opportunity to continue to grow wealth by way of capital appreciation, and then you continue to earn passive income for life, okay, up to 40 years again. This is the project overview. What you're actually paying for, we will talk about that shortly. You own the land permanently. So it's permanent land ownership, then structured lifetime income, and then up to 40 years productive assets. Now, who is Palmville suitable for? Palmville is ideal for individuals, families, and organizations seeking secure land ownership, steady long-term income, retirement stability, and a lasting legacy through professionally managed agro real estate. On Wednesday, I had a group coaching call with a few of members of my private, community, and I was sharing with them about planning for their retirement. I'm not. There are very few opportunities that I believe that have long-term effects or long-term value and can even outlive you. Palmville satisfies that, right? It will serve you your lifetime, to serve your children's children, right? So if you are thinking legacy, you are thinking planning for your retirement, for those of us who are in diaspora, UK, US, wherever, whether you are planning to return back to your home country, to motherland, or you plan to remain there, you need something that will continue to put money into your pocket. And like I often share, if you don't find a way, to make money while asleep, you will work till you die. And that is why it is important that you consider asset classes that ensures that value is being created again and again, and value is growing, and then it's also bringing in money into your pockets. And this is also done through professionally managed agro real estate like Palmville. The specific location right now is Obafemi Owode, Ogun State. A lot of research, a lot of work has gone into like I said, this particular offer would have been launched since last year, but we wanted to, dot the I's, cross the T's, and make sure that everything is, according to plan. Again, from experience, there are many times you have great intentions, and if you communicate it exactly the way it is, and things fall short, people will hold you responsible. So most of our projections, most of our plans here have been underestimated. So we are under promising with the intention to over deliver. So the agenda for us is not to hype anybody. I mean, that's why we are coming to our existing customers and existing partners in the first instance. All right. So the land sizes, and I mean, to make sure that nobody's left out, even though I personally recommend that if you have the means, buy as much as possible. But you should not, nobody is too poor not to take advantage of this. That's why we also have one plot offer, which is 500 square meters. We have 1 acre, 6 plots, and then 1 hectare, 15 plots. Now, upon full payments, subscribers shall receive receipt of payment and then will be entitled to a registered survey and a deed of assignment in their name or company's name. Now, there are individuals who will say, rather than buy it in my name, I'll prefer to warehouse it in the name of a company. But in the event you are trying to do that in the name of a company, that will be subject to applicable fees based on prevailing government charges. So it's important to take note of that ahead of time. But if you are registering in your name, then that's what your money covers for. So the question is, how much is each of these going for? Now, under this exclusive private offer, a plot is going for 900,000 naira if you are paying outright. 6 plots is going for 4.5 million naira if you are paying outright. If you are buying 1 hectare, which is 15 plots, you get at 11 million naira outright. All other payment plans are there: 3 months payment plan, 6-month payment plan. Because of our time, so that we can take enough questions, I would need to skip this. Now, you can also make requests for this particular slide. It will be made available to you, so you can keep it for record purposes. All right. And then, of course, this particular presentation is also being recorded, and that can also be made available to you. But more importantly, it's good to have this slide as well for your records. Now, based on our projections, Palmville and the oil palm yield and the scale economics table, just to show you what the production capacity for if you are buying a plot, if you are buying an acre, if you are buying an hectare, is pretty much what I want to share with you right now. The first one is the 1 plot, which is 500 square meters. It accommodates 8 to 10 trees, 8 to 10 palm trees. People have asked, and people have even said, oh, that is too small. You can take more. You should be able to take more trees per plot and all of those things. But we are very strategic in most of the things we do. First is that not all trees will also fruit at the same time. Not all trees will also produce in the same capacity. So to keep everything conservative, that's part of the reason. But the ultimate agenda and the dimensions to this is the fact that the spacing between each trees, all right, is also very critical. It's about, I think, 9 meters or so thereabout. And the essence is when these trees begin to fruit, when they start touching each other, it affects their growth. So there has to be that space. But beyond that also, during harvesting, the tractor you can't be doing this one manually. You can't harvest and produce result quickly if you are doing it manually. So there has to be tractors and machineries and all of that will be moving in between all those trees. So to make sure that that is done effectively, there has to be enough space in between. So it's part of the reasons why we are not putting more than 8 to 10 trees per plot. Now, the average yield of palm oil per tree is 25 liters, which means if on the low side you have 8 trees, right, you should be expecting 200 liters of palm oil per year. If you have 10 trees on the high side, you should be getting 250 liters of palm oil. And essentially, what that simply means is you be getting, what do you call it now? You are getting an idea of the projected revenue from these particular assets. And because prices are not and forever not stable, so what it is today may be what as you can tell even right now, the value, the cost of palm oil per barrel is way higher than crude oil. And a lot of times we are not paying attention to that. It's one of the major errors of government. I'm so glad that Mr. Okpe gave us those, fantastic and most recent data, because data speaks a lot of insight and gives you insight into what you should be doing. And that's part of the reasons why we too are, everything we are doing is data driven. We could have gone for other cash crops, but there was a specific reason why we settled for this, right? When we were about to say, okay, and finalize the decision in the board meeting, we came to this because of many other factors. One of them is the fact that there's absolutely nothing about the palm tree that is a waste. Everything has, every byproduct is usable. All right. I was still speaking with a gentleman, with an elderly man, who was telling me, was telling me all sorts of byproducts within the thing and all of that. But again, we are not projecting, we are not drawing our projections based on other byproducts. Why? Because we don't control the market. And that's not where our emphasis are. It's mainly on the palm oil. Why? Because that's the one that has the highest demand. So in the events other byproducts produce revenue, fantastic. It's part of the things that will be declared. But the focus and priority for us and the basis of our projections is based on, palm oil. So if you do 6 plots, it means that you should be having between 48 and 60 trees per acre, which is 6 plots. If you multiply that, that gives you about 1,200 on the low side, 1,200 liters of palm oil on the low side, to 1,500 liters of oil on the high side, right? Then if you are going for 1 hectare, which is 15 plots, you are having between 120 trees and 150 trees. 25 liter per tree translates to 3,000 liters of oil, on the low side, and then 3,750 liters of oil on the high side. Now, if you just run the numbers, how much does a liter of palm oil go for right now in the retail market? How much does it go for in the wholesale market? Because the price also oscillates, right? There are peak seasons. Again, part of the reasons we settled for palm oil is largely because of the global appeal, the global demand, and the local demand that it has. Mr. Okpe already gave us all those data earlier on. It also does not just have, domestic use. It has commercial use. It has industrial use. So it's like wherever you want to play, everybody's using palm oil one way or the other. So and we want to play in the supply end, not just on the demand end. So for majority of us, we are interacting with palm oil on a daily basis through our detergents, through our soap, through all of those other, and that's the demand end. And that's not where you make money. You make money when you meet those demands. And that's part of the reasons why this is put together. And so this is a call for us to make money together. All right. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Now, what does your payment cover? When you buy any of these, whether you are doing a 3-month payment plan or outright payment plan or 6-month payment plan, right? What does your payment cover? It covers the following. Number one, land, right? The land value of this particular project is 1.5 million naira if you are buying a plot. It's 7.5 million naira if you are buying 6 plots. It's 15 million naira. So it's 18 million naira if you are doing 15 plots. That's the value of what you are paying for. So even just the land alone is weightier, more than what you have to pay. if you really look at the value of what we are offering. The deed of assignment and registered survey is also part of the things you are paying for. All right, that's what your money covers already. So really, as of this moment, it's about ₦1 million for the registered deed, for the deed of assignment and registered survey. It's 6 million for 6 plots, 15 million for. So this is whooping so much value already by plugging in now. And all you need to do is just to, lock it down with 20% of the actual price and the payment based on the payment plan you sign up for. The discount voucher is also one major advantage that you derive from this, right? If you're buying one plot, there's no discount voucher. If you're buying 1 acre or more, the discount voucher is 500,000 for six plots. If you're buying 1 hectare, it is 1,250,000. All right, that's what you are getting as discount voucher. And for the purpose of this presentation, and for those who just may be hearing us, it is important for me to establish that a discount voucher is essentially not discount. It is discount on your next purchase. So what does that mean? If you buy 1 acre and you want to buy a second acre, you buy the 1 acre at 4.5 million. On the next purchase, you get 500,000 discount voucher on your next purchase. So if you are buying the next acre, instead of paying 4.5 million, you'll be paying 4 million. Does that make any sense? And the same thing applies also for the 1 hectare. If you're buying, and if you are buying multiple, so if you are buying 4, you'll be accumulating more discount vouchers, which you can apply on your next purchase. So the more you buy, the less you pay. That's pretty much what this discount voucher does for you. Does that make any sense? So free plots also in the Palmville resort. Now, the Palmville resort is a project we have not yet launched, but as a compensation, as a reward, as an incentive for those who are buying into this opportunity, we are creating an exclusive resort also, around, the Palmville. And so everybody who is buying 1 acre or more will also be eligible to additional free plots. So for example, if you buy 1 acre, you get 200 square meters. If you buy 1 hectare, you get 500 square meters. Somebody just bought 7 hectares. I just got the notice today. Somebody just bought 7 hectares. What that person is getting is 500 square meters times 7. That's 3,500 square meters extra in our Palmville resort. Now, because that is the portion where you can actually build. You can build vacation home, countryside home, vacation resort, and whatever. That's where you can build it. For that purpose, we also are giving architectural design, all right, bill of quantity. All of these are coming at enormous value, right, to those who qualify for it, who are getting free plot of land. Those are the people who also be eligible for the architectural designs and then bill of quantity. Bill of quantity essentially is an estimate for what it will take to finish a development. That's pretty much what a bill of quantity is. And an architectural design will show you exactly what your house will look like when you finish building it. All right. It shows the dimensions and all of those things. Then of course you have access to Agro real estate community, which is completely and absolutely priceless. All right. And again, this also covers management, expert supervision and management for the first 5 years of the oil palm plantation. For your information, please note that the first 5 years, it takes between 4 to 5 years for the palm tree to begin to fruit. Okay. And so for that period of time, we are not coming to ask you for extra money. Whatever it is you are paying to buy the land already covers the management for that period. So you are really not doing anything. Though the land belongs completely to you, permanently yours for life, right? The management, somebody still asked me this week and was saying that, why would your management be getting extra money for doing nothing? I said, sir, you bought land. If you pay for land, the land is yours. Your responsibility is to go and do anything you want to do on the land. But the basis upon which you are going to be making money from that same land forever, for this length of time, is because some people are doing the work. Are they not eligible for something? If we want to put it based on salary and all of those things, then that is also can undulate again from time to time. Anyways, So that's pretty much what this covers for the first 5 years. And then project insurance and security. This is also priceless. There's no way you can assess the value of, I mean, if there's anything at all, you want to make sure that your investment is secured. The little I know, especially given my investment banking background, is the fact that you don't want to even toy with your principal. So even if, yes, we want to make money, but my principal, my capital must be protected, right? It reminds me of Warren Buffett's, you know, rule for investment that he gives to his CEOs, his company's CEOs. And it is that rule number one, don't lose shareholders' fund. Rule number two is don't forget rule number one. So that's why the project insurance and security is so critical. Now, all through this period of this partnership and this relationship, the yield sharing structure, right, is 60% net goes to you, the landowner, and then 40% net goes to Lifepage and the management company. For the purpose of this lecture and presentation also, it is important to note that Lifepage is not we're a real estate company, and we are leveraging the expertise of another company who has done so well in palm-related business and management. They've done it for years and produced significant results, right? So that is pretty much what the 40% will be shared. So the 40% will really be shared 2020 between us and the management company, all right? And then there are a couple of questions here, which is also part of the reasons why. Please fill the forms. If you are subscribing, many of the things have already been covered in this presentation. Do I truly own the land? Yes, upon full payment and the land is permanently yours. It's owned by you and documented with a registered survey and a deed of assignment in your name or company name. Additional fees would apply for documentation in company's name. The reason why I skipped other things is because I've already touched on them, right? What happens if default on installment payment? If there's default on installment payment, there's a default charge of 20%, if you default, right? And that's pretty much based on your monthly installment. So again, after 6 months consecutive default in a payment, the price of the product and the project will be subject to prevailing rate at the time. So all of these things are already captured in documents. So just reach out to us and reach out to whoever invited you here to share the subscription form with you. And then, if possible, you could also reach out to our official lines. But please, I think you should reach out to those who invited you here. But if you need Swift or you need support, additional support, right, you can reach out to our official lines 090 6000 5737 or 090 6000 5747. Right. How is revenue shared? I think I've already touched on that already. Who manages the plantation? The plantation is centrally managed by a professional oil palm management team to ensure efficiency, scale economics, and proper control. Part of the things that all the money that people are paying for does not only cover land, the seedlings, the nursery, the management, the cultivation, the harvesting, the processing, the distribution, the sales. Everything is being managed, all right? And that's pretty much what your money covers. So you are not just buying land, you are buying an oil palm plantation in effect, right? So over this year, May 2nd will make it exactly 14 years we've been in full-time operation. And I can tell you that there are people who have bought land from us past 10 years, 12 years, right? Even though the value of their property has skyrocketed significantly, right? But they have not necessarily been making money. This is the first time we'll be offering something that's of this nature that will give you lifelong revenue. All right. How will I receive updates? Subscribers will receive detailed biannual progress reports. But let me also mention here upfront that part of the systems we are putting in place would give you access to updates on your dashboard as a client or as a partner. So all of that features will come in the course of time. So please just watch out. But pending that time, it will be email communications and updates and progress reports. And once we start, the things start to produce some measure of results. We'll then have a meeting and then be having periodic meetings and updates from time to time. Can I transfer or resell my land? Oh, absolutely, yes, you can. However, approval must be sought and granted by Lifepage management. We will require the details of the new buyer, including the proof of payment, and charge transfer fee, which is 5% of the consideration. Total cost of which the land was sold is what we call consideration. So essentially, that's pretty much the way that works. What are the risks involved? Agricultural, and I wanted to touch on this before we get into any question or contributions. Agricultural operations involve inherent risks that may affect timelines, costs, and outcomes. These include environmental factors such as weather variability, droughts, flooding, pests, and disease, as well as market conditions, supply chain disruptions, regulatory changes, and other unforeseen events beyond the control of Lifepage. Now, while Lifepage applies prudent planning, professional management, and risk mitigation measures, outcomes and returns cannot be guaranteed, and timelines may be adjusted where necessary. In the event of significant disruptions, Lifepage will communicate promptly and take reasonable steps to manage the impact in the best interest of stakeholders. Participation is subject to the applicable subscription agreement, which contains full risk disclosures and terms governing unforeseen events, including force majeure, right? There's already a projection that there might be another pandemic in another 5 years or 6 years or so. I mean, there are projections, all sorts of projections, which is even more dangerous, right? But like you already know, during the pandemic, the last pandemic that we had all over the world, where there was lockdown, essential services were still active, right? And there were still demands. People were still eating. People still needed to stay in their homes, right? And so whatever it is that happens, we will keep all of us abreast. So there are factors and situations that we don't entirely control. And that's why that risk disclosure, full risk disclosure is very important. Now, how do you subscribe? Very simple. Select, number one, let me put it this way. Determine your objective. Define your objective, right? Define your objective, right? Number two is select your preferred land size, right? Choose your payment plan. Then complete your subscription form, right? Then make payments. Now, this is a dedicated account for those of us who are customers or partners of Lifepage. You don't pay for Palmville into Lifepage Property and Investments Limited. Some of us already have that account registered on your bank portal or whatever. But please don't make that mistake to send money for Palmville to Lifepage Property and Investments. This is completely a separate thing. Listen, this is an invitation for all of us to make money together. I told our team, Mr. Okwe in particular, who is my business partner, I told him, I said, whether people buy or not, this is one of our retirement plans. All right. So it's an invitation for all of us to come and let's make money together. Yeah, that's pretty much my submission. Thank you very much, everybody. Over to you, Mr. Okwe.
Okay, Jose, thank you very much. We have a lot of questions here. I will pick it one after the other. I don't know whether this is Mr. or Madam Uche Okoli is asking, does one have to submit the subscription form with payment? In other words, can one submit the form now and pay later, or you have to wait for the money to be available? Can you also throw more light on the 20% lockdown?
All right, so thank you very much. So it's always your subscription is not only based on form or payment alone. So it is on both. So we need to have not just your payment, but your subscription form. That is when the transaction took place. All right, so we need both. So instead of filling the form now and pay later, or pay now and submit form later, we need both together to make sure that everything is documented and then action is taken. And then we know exactly, because sometimes we have received payments and some money stays in floating for like 3 months. You don't know who paid, you can't reconcile payments, the money is just hanging and you don't know who did transaction. So that's why the subscription form is also very important. Now, on the 20% down payment, essentially it is opportunity for you to lock down the offer while it lasts. Now, mind you, this is not forever offer. This is just an exclusive private offer we're extending to existing customers and existing partners or their families and friends, right? For that reason, you don't want to lose such an opportunity. When it gets to the market, certainly I can guarantee you to be worth more. Again, by the time this project begins to fruit, and then all the things begin to mature, we can't be selling at this price. The truth of the matter is there are palm tree farms right now that are even way more expensive, 10 times than what modern is. Why? Because the cash flow potential is humongous. You have literally shortened the time you will need to start making money. Anyway, so it is the opportunity for you to lock down. So if, for example, 4.5 million naira is per acre, and you want to buy 1 acre, what we are simply saying is that to lock down that offer, pay 900,000 naira now, and then fill the form, and then start making your payment. By the way, 4.5 million naira is an outright payment. So if you are doing 3 months, that's 4.6. If you are doing 6 months, that is 4.7 million naira, right? So just make sure that you lock down the 20%. So the 20% is the total cost depending on the payment plan that you subscribe for. Again, if you need additional help in that area, please reach out to the person who invited you or any of our customer success lines, 0906,05737, 0906,05747. All right. What happens after the first 5 years? Yes, so we start sharing yield from 6th year. Now, mind you, and I need to say this categorically so that people be aware, we are essentially projecting, our plan was based on worst case scenarios, right? Not based on best case scenarios. It is better for us that way, right? Because of many factors. So this can happen even earlier. So, but we are projecting that the fruiting begins from 5 years. So if it is earlier, it means that we can start sharing earlier. But for the purpose of this presentation and for the purpose of our relationship, because this is a long time, we are locked in together for a long time, even our generations after us, right? It is important to be very clear and transparent, right? Some of us will not even be here in another 40 years' time. Some of us will not be here in another 30 years' time, right? So it is important to be very clear and upfront with ourselves. Full disclosure is the rule of the engagement here. So, that is when you say what happens after 5 years, I won't assume that you are saying that who bears the cost and all of that. So the cost of maintaining that place will be deducted before we share profit. So it's essentially, that's why we said net, 60% of the net. So if, for example, we generate per hectare, let's assume we generate, let's say we generate 9 million, or let's say 8 million naira in revenue per hectare. I'm just using that as an example. It's hypothetical. Please don't take my word for it. It can be higher, it could be lower. But I'm just saying if 8 million is what we generate per hectare, right? And let's say our total operating expenses, including overhead, the farmers, the people that will harvest, that will process, the milling, the power, everything, utilities, everything that's taking is between 30 and maybe 40%, right? Whatever is left after that deduction is what will be shared between the owner of the land and Lifepage and the management company. Does that make any sense? And so that means we are not coming back at any point in the future to say, oh, sorry, we need some more money. It is the project will fund itself, all right? And it has the potential, the capacity to do so. Is the 12-month payment plan strictly monthly, or is it just as to be paid within 12 months? Okay, so Mrs. Francisca, you want me to now announce this now. Now, if you are listening to us and you are not an existing partner, there is an opportunity for you to sign up, as a partner. Now, when you are a registered partner with Lifepage, which means you can also refer your families and friends. That's what it simply means. To be a Lifepage partner means you can also register, you can refer your families and friends. into whatever opportunity that we have in our organization. What that automatically does for you as a registered partner who also wants to buy the same property is that the outright price can be spread for up to 12 months. What that simply means is that if 1 hectare is selling for 11 million, as a registered partner, you pay 2.2 million naira down payment, right? And then you have 11 months to spread the remaining balance. That's the advantage only registered partners have in our organization. So it is in your best interest, if you are an existing customer or would-be customer who wants to get into this, to take advantage of that. And the reason why this is also important is because if you were planning to just buy 2 hectares before, but now you know that you can spread payment and you know you have that level of cash flow, you can increase the number of hectares you want to buy to maybe 5 and then spread the remaining payment and know fully well that everything you are paying for already covers all that we have already talked about. So it brings you enormous value. And so it is strictly within that period. It does not exceed that. And then it must be monthly. You must keep to that structure. That's very, very important. Otherwise, all the default charges all will apply. We don't want anything that will stress you or stress us. So it is always better to stick to what you know you'll be able to keep up with. Nobody responds to those lines. Are they really working? Wow, that's a huge, they are, ma'am. I mean, there are three thumbs ups to it, which means that people are acknowledging that it is true. Mr. Akpe, do you have anything to say to that?
Okay, I saw the message. Ma'am, the numbers are working. And I don't know whether you are calling the numbers or you are chatting the numbers. It's just that as we are having this meeting now, a lot of people too are calling and are chatting. There was a time that one of the numbers, the person that was handling the number was not available. Probably that's the time this happened. It was like for almost a week, but we've rectified that. So the numbers are working. However, you can also reach out to the person that invited you for this meeting. That will even be much more faster, okay? And one of the other things we are doing is we are also working to increase the numbers because we understand that, because let me give you a practical example. We hold a lot of events and all of those things. So we are increasing the numbers that are official numbers so that we have more people that are attending to our needs at the same time. But those two numbers I'm talking to you right now, if you chat it now, they will respond to you. That's one I can guarantee you. And I mean, there are some people on this call too that have my personal numbers. As we are on this call right now, there's no way you can send me a message that I will attend to it. You understand? So, but they are working. That's that's one thing I can.
All right. Yes. All right. Thank you very much. And again, please, Saturdays and Sundays, you can leave messages, but expect that we will respond. We could respond during the weekend, but expect that we will respond latest from Mondays. So Monday to Friday. All right. So, but if you send a message, we could respond during the weekend, but best expect response Mondays to Fridays during working hours. Right. Where is the location of the farm, Obafemi Owode in Ogun State? What is the name of the professional agro company that managed the farm? Please be specific of the name. We would make that available to those who subscribe to the project, So Lifepage is the company that is interfacing with everybody, and we are the real estate company. So the real estate arm of the company is collaborating with another company that will be doing the management of the farms. And if you are doing business with us, why should we tell you the person we are doing business with? Then you will now leave us. And if you can find it yourself, it's fine. But that is the basis upon which I'm going to say what I've said. We are not in any way hiding that, not disclosing it. No, that's not the essence. The essence is when you are our customer, why wouldn't we tell you? Well, you will know now, you will have the details, right? Will there be land allocation to subscribers? If yes, are you charging an allocation fee or is it included in the original land cost? Also, how do subscribers identify, secure, and take possession of their land? Now, because this land is not for actual development. This is for palm plantation. What you will get is your documentation. So the place of actual physical possession does not come in. What matters is that you have documents. I don't know if Mr. Akbe has something to say in that respect.
Yeah, it's perfect. Your explanation is perfect. So there's not you cannot. Let me just answer this too. In addition to this, because a lot of people ask questions. You can't say you want to manage your farm by yourself. No,
Mhm.
it's all about the large number. So it's in the volume. That's why this project is not a small project, right? Even the person that is buying 10 hectares or 100 hectares, you're only buying out of a
Yeah,
larger volume. I don't know whether the person understands. So there won't be a place for physical allocation, but there will be a place for document, deed of assignment, allocation letter, and registers of
register
receiving
survey.
permits. Yes.
So, and then the issue of allocation fee, does that come to play here?
No, 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 it does not come to play.
So everything is covered in this. Yeah. Remy Faith, will there be real people to talk in case there are problems along the way? For example, customer service line with professional staff to give support over any arising issue. Absolutely. We recently, took some key decisions, and you will see that take effect, going forward. Again, in the past, um, when people buy from us, usually they come through our partners, right? And then there's a limit to how much the company, no matter the communication the company has or engages with the customer, there's still that loop where the partner has to be the one. But what we are creating a new layer where there is a dedicated account, officer or account manager to every customer, no matter when or where they buy. So that way, there's a touch point, direct touch point. Somebody will provide you support every now and again. So that's your personal point person. Apart from whoever invited you or referred you or whatever, it's also part of the layers we are putting in place. So Mr. Remy Faith or Mrs. Remy Faith, that's very spot on. How much is this subscription? I already mentioned it. I guess you joined late. A plot of land at an outright price is going for 900,000. 1 acre, which is 6 plots, goes for 4.5 million. 1 hectare, which is 15 plots, goes for 11 million naira. And then the price changes if you are doing 3 months, 6 month payment plan. And then may even be adjusted further if you are a registered partner. So please reach out to whoever invited you or reach out to our official lines 0906 0906057, Please don't call now. You can send a message that will work, and then give us, if it is during weekends, allow us to respond to you latest from Monday. So Monday to Fridays, please. Thank you. Will there be support for anyone who needs help with filling out their subscription? Absolutely. That's why you have all those numbers as well, and then whoever invited you. And then if you fill any form and you submit that form, if it is incompletely filled, we'll ask you to update, when necessary. Do Lifepage intend to transfer land or palm to subscribers in the long run? When you say transfer, what do you mean? Can you please elucidate? Any timeline for the lockdown? This particular offer right now is is very limited. Not just a limited time offer, it's also a limited quantity offer, because there is a portion that we cannot sell lower than the price. So the price we are putting it out right now is the least it would ever be. It can never be cheaper than this ever. It can never. And I say that with every doggedness, in fact, it's like, that's why we are not taking it to public, right? That's why we're not making noise in the public. You wait till we start going public, everybody will know Palmville. But right now, we just want to keep it exclusive so that all our existing customers, existing partners, and their families and friends would have maximized the opportunity first before we take it out there. So we have about, I think, 200 hectares, right? Or 100 hectares for this particular offer. So if that one finish, we cannot sell below the prices we have mentioned ever again after that. So it is either within that time frame, which is between now and um, April 30th, right? So the earlier you do that, the earlier you lock down your offer, the better, really. That's just the best thing I can tell you. All right. Where is the location? I think I already answered this question. Is it possible to chat directly with either of you guys, please, for some direct queries? You see, we have well over 10,000 stakeholders in the business. And if the business is centered around us, and that's why we're doing one-to-many, and that's why we're doing this, because that's what is most feasible and realistic. Even with that, the schedule is crazy. Back to back, back to back calls, is what is going on. I don't know if you heard of the phone call right now. So there are things that when it is beyond the systems and structures we have put in place, you can reach out to us. And so please reach out to any of those people, Madam or Mr. Remy Faith. And then if it needs to be escalated, then it will be escalated to either of us. And we can always look at a more convenient time that will fit into our schedules. What does it take to partner with you? All right, so reach out to those numbers or reach out to our time is already fast spent and I would need to wrap up now. So over to you, Mr. Okwe. Reach out to whoever invited you or reach out to those numbers we gave out earlier.
Okay, thank you very much, OC. I think I'm just going through all the questions here, and I think we've touched on most of it already. So please, let's do well to reach out to those that invited us. The way our system works, I just want to talk about the numbers again. The way our system works is that there is no way you can join this call without somebody following up on you, not necessarily the official numbers. And I know that everybody here understands what I'm talking about. Okay, so please do well, right, to chat those people up, right? They have all the information. It's not possible for you to say you want to talk to just one person about. That's why it is a company. Okay, please let's do well to do that. And I want to appreciate everybody for joining us. Please let's take a decision as quickly as possible because, like Osi said, somebody has picked up 7, and there are some couple of pickups that are happening everywhere. So that it will not be that one day we'll just come here and say, okay, the private earlier access and the private placement is over. Now we are pre-launch. What it means is that some people have made money and you were looking. Okay, let's have a great and wonderful night or day or afternoon, depending on anywhere you are in the world. Bye.
Peace out. Yeah.